think your mic's still off. Or is it my mic? Is it your mic? My mic?
You can't hear me. I muted myself. So, team, I apologize. I was talking to myself. I have muted myself. So here we go again. There's a couple of things to do. And it is the following. If you're tuning in, hit the like button, say hello. Ben is setting up his studio as we speak. In fact, I muted myself. Can you believe it?
Was that like? I can't hear you. I'm thinking it's something on mine. I'm pressing this. I'm pressing that.
No, it's me. It's me. What, as my dad would say, in the words of my dad, what a carve up.
What a carve.
A bloody carve up you two are. What a carve up. So say hello, hit the like button. Unless it's you don't like what we do, then don't hit the like button. Go do something else. Go watch some telly or something. But I'd love you to say something.
You know, imagine if you put this like button. Should be like a.
You frozen, Ben, just so you know.
I'm frozen.
Yeah, I just got a picture of your finger. You might want to turn your camera on and off. So yeah.
How's that?
Yeah, you're still a bit better, but you're moving about one. You look a bit like you're doing the robot. What about now?
Well, I'm gonna go on my computer. I'm gonna come off on my phone.
Ben's gonna do his thing. So, folks, tuning in. We're doing a little bit of Q&A tonight, but you're not getting any Q&A unless you fill the form in. We had a load of questions, so we're going to cover 3 main questions. I just pulled them up off my screen. I'm going to get you to cover them. We're going to cover those bad boys. We're going to probably do a couple of questions at the end, but we're only going to be maximum half hour. You know the rules of the Lockdown Live. While Ben's sorting his shit out, though, got a question for you. What has been something this week? What has been something this week? Ben, what the fuck is going on? What has been something this week that you believe? Mate, what a nightmare. What has been something this week that has been good? Like, come on, give us a win or something, man. We'll let Ben back in when he's got Sky Studio set up. Like, what's been a win? Something you go, man, this has been good for me. And if you can't find something, start small, do something. You know, I don't know. Come on, something. A bit of your week that's been quality. You go, that wasn't so bad. Even if it's the best of a bad bunch. Half hour means hour to you, Si. About right, yeah. So, a lot going on, but missed your voices and your outlook. Yeah, appreciate it. It's shit on TV. Yeah. Love the positive vibes. Yeah. Jason Etheridge moved into my new house. Joe Corbett's moving home. Everyone's moving. What else we got here? Come on. Lob them in and then we'll crack on with some cool stuff. Find something. If it's been a shit week, find something. Find the best bit of a shit week. If you can't, you can't. Sometimes it's more we won't than we can. Get a new car. Are you ready, Ben?
I'm ready. Shit. That was
there he is.
We are good.
Any small win. Ben, while they're lobbing their wins in, man, now you're set up. You've got your lamp on. Your hair looks great. You look hench. Your beard's fine. You're living a dream. Tell us, what's been the best bit of your week? You got 1 minute.
Well, the best bit of my week is today is my daughter's 13th birthday. He's actually turned into a teen, which is crazy. And which is one of the reasons why I'm late tonight. We was rushing home, and then for some reason they decided to do one of the busiest roads where we live and just lock it off. They've locked it off like bad. they were diverting. And we've pretty much done the whole tour of Manchester to get over to where to get back home. So that was an experience. But yeah, the health of my child is priceless, right? And just seeing her 13 years old today, glistening with health, big bushy hair, and the kids doing the thing, all the love that she's got. Man, it's been a great win. Some of the stuff that's priceless in life, mate, you can't beat it. So I'm a happy man tonight.
Nice. Kathy thought you said 30th for a minute. If Ben's got a 30-year-old, there's some problems. Yeah. Big problems. So Leanne said,
let's say one of yours. Where you at?
Man, I've enjoyed this week. Do you know what my best win? I went for a walk this afternoon across the hills, mate. It was class. I know it sounds such a simple thing. I've had some cool big things go on, but just off the cuff, I just love nature. I love getting out in nature. I love walking. I love Milo. I love the hills. It was that weird weather. It was like raining, but sunny, and the sun was behind the clouds, but coming in. You know what it's like up there. This is a lot going on. So there's that. Had some communication back today about a place we're looking to have as an Unbreakable centre in Malvern.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to hear about that.
Proper setup for lives and stuff, but also where people come, and we can have the brain training room and the muses set up and classrooms and stuff. Deal. So that was pretty cool. We've got a new 30-day just started this week. You know that. You're in there coaching your ass off. And it's just been one of them good weeks. But I think walking across the hills today, I felt brand new. Absolutely brand new, to be fair.
Cool. Love it.
Yeah. High Performance Mind came out. Yeah, I mean, what more can I say? There's a lot of good shit going on. But
I love that. I love that name, HPM.
High Performance Mind, yeah. Anyway, let's rock and roll. So normally I go through the comments on the ads, right?
Give us 2 or 3.
There's none.
Serious?
Folks are giving us shit this week, and I just don't understand why. Everyone's been
exposing these motherfuckers. That's why.
Everyone's been
on prime TV with these 2 crazy ass dudes exposing the bullshit. Or maybe the universe has gone, right, you're right, we shouldn't be letting people do that shit. Or maybe Facebook heard, these days you can't say anything on Facebook without someone hearing it.
Yeah. Just literally nothing. And I don't know if that's good. People are being nice.
Oh, man, that is crazy. With a double ZY.
The last thing someone said was remotely aggressive. There's nothing on here. One put seems legit. 3 laughing emojis. And what I can only say is about 30 money bags. Mate, I wish I had 30 money bags.
Hey, don't you lie now.
Oh, hang on. There's one from a couple of weeks ago we missed. Similar to the other bloke, but this says, free your minds, go vegan, join the cube of truth, anonymous for the voiceless. All charity starts at home. I don't know what that's like.
Oh, my. Jesus Christ. But he sat there like
Nobody has said, hey, look, it's Darren Brown. No one said, bloody hell, Tyson Fury's struggling. No one else has said, no one's been remotely funny or humorous or anything on our ads. And you know what, world? I feel let down. I feel pissed off.
There's us like, yeah, we're going to rip the shit out of everybody and it's 0.
Yeah, hey, I feel disappointed.
Fight back. Watch next week now, I'll be like, hey, look, they're coming out. People must be seeking this ad just to talk some shit.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened. Maybe our targeting's got better, but people are generally just going, oh, sounds amazing. I can't wait. I want the breathing. But I'll enjoy that. Anyway, folks, we're going to dive in. We got 3 questions on the Q&A, right? We got more. We had 30 questions, but I'm going to cover the main 3 because we've only got 30 minutes and we've already been 10. So Ben hasn't seen these, which is a bit not so cool for Ben, but he's been living the dream, birthdaying it up. So Ben, we had a question, right? And I'm going to cover a couple of points because I've had a chance to look at it. But I think a lot of people can relate to this. other people treating me like crap.
Mm.
Not me. It's not my question. It's not my Q&A. But a couple of the questions in there were like, look, people treat me like crap, take me for granted. People walk all over me. People do all that kind of stuff. You know, taxi driver's been busy. Yeah, must have been. And then she's like, what can I do? And so I thought we can all relate to that probably. And I think a lot of people can probably relate to it.
We just talked about it with the ads, right?
So I was thinking, I've got a couple of things I might mention, give you a chance to build off it. But for me, right, I would say number one, you have to we get what we tolerate a lot of the time. That's quite hard sometimes to hear, but we do get what we tolerate. As in, if we keep tolerating people treating us like shit, we get more of it, right? It doesn't matter if it's someone in our personal life or even professional life. You know, I talk about this a lot in academy. I'm like, I don't work with people I just don't want to work with. People think that's terrible, but it's like, nah, I'm not going to sit here and tolerate nonsense. We had this conversation a little bit this week. I'll let people give their opinion, but if I think their opinion's a bit like coming from a place of it's not really true or not really effective, then I will probably say, yeah, that's cool, but here's actually what's really happening. Do you know what I mean? I will kind of point that out, but I think we get what we tolerate a lot of the time, and that's crucial. I think for everyone to understand. You know, a lot of people say, "Oh, my boss always puts on me." Well, stop tolerating that. But I have to. Well, maybe you do, maybe you don't, but we're tolerating that, aren't we? Oh, my partner's always on at me. Well, don't tolerate that. And so the first thing I would say is kind of we get what we tolerate, and so how can we move out of that? I wrote down 3 little things. So obviously, say no more. Most people need to say no more, I think. If someone's always turning up and actually, you know, asking shit of you don't want to do, say no. We can say no to things sometimes. Do you know what I mean? People always put on people who don't say no as well. I think, like, if you don't say no, if you people please, people put more and more on you. I think anyway, and I'm going to be backed up with that. So that's the first thing. I think the other thing is raise our standards a little bit. If we treat ourselves a bit shitty and have real low personal standards, we always allow people to treat us to that level. I think is just another observation I have. If I don't think much of myself, then I allow other people to not, to treat me to that level. If I have a self view, which is like rock bottom, I'll tolerate people treating me that way. If I have a self view as that actually I'm worth something and etc., then I won't tolerate people treating me like shit. Like, no, I'm not going to. Who do you think you're treating that way? Because I have a high opinion of myself, say, for example. You know, I think raising our standards is beautiful. And if we can raise how we feel about ourselves, we won't really tolerate shit from other people a lot of the time. And if you do both of those things, I think you will feel incredible. Because the first thing people say is, oh, it's hard though, or it's my friend, or my... Well, yeah, it might be hard. If someone asked me, how'd you get fit? I'd probably give them some stuff to do, and they'd say, that's hard. Yeah, it is. Don't do it or don't do it. So it's not easy to say no. That's why people always say yes. It's not easy to raise our standards. That's why we all tolerate shit. It's not easy to raise our self-worth, but it doesn't mean it's not a good thing to do. And I think that's crucial. So when it comes to other people treating us like crap, take. Stop giving all the time. You know? And I think that's important to have standards in place everywhere.
Most for sure. And values. I think there's building on that as well. There's also, we're living in a world where we worry about people's opinions, but then we can't even take our own opinion. And then on top of that, can't even listen to nobody's opinion. And I think you have this, and I've been here before, that we can kind of do things expecting something back without really knowing it. So doing things with other people or people walking all over you, if you feel that way, can come at the point where you're thinking doing something for them will make you feel a certain way. and it's the wrong way around. You know, and I guarantee people struggle to receive. This is something that we're doing in Breakable, where it's not just about the giving side of it. It's always funny when we say this. It's the receiving side of it, right?
Yeah.
And you must be what you most value in the world. And that's not from other people. I've said before, to feel the love that you want, you must start with yourself. To feel the respect that you want, you must start with yourself. And this will all help what Simon's saying about raising your standards, raising what you're about, raising your values. And then that just, by default, creates a state, an environment, an energy that this doesn't happen. So it's not trying to fix the problem. It's not trying to counteract it in any way. It's not trying to change anything but yourself.
And we've got to be careful. We got to be careful we don't get into that, like, oh, fuck everyone. Oh, everyone. Sod everyone. Because actually,
that's a great point.
You know, you don't want to get into that element. I think that's what the social media world's like now. You can't differ with somebody. You're evil if you have a different opinion to somebody. It's like, oh God, you're attacking me.
Yeah. Well, just because you have a different person doesn't you have a different opinion, or it might be wrong, doesn't make you a bad person.
And understanding of people is crucial.
Yeah. And it's something that you know, Si worked with me on years ago was, and I still get it to some point now, is, you know, giving something a lot of meaning, giving it a lot of care, which ends up over care, which goes back to what Simon was talking about before. You end up under caring. I give so much, I end up giving not shit. And it's not about not caring, it's about finding, we always say it's about finding that appropriate level. You know, are you giving it too much meaning? If you're giving it too much time, are you giving too much energy? And this, again, you know, is if you've not got no real clarity and vision in where you're working towards, you've not got something that's important, everything becomes important. And we always know that to be true when we're worrying about other people's opinions and the way they're treating us, right?
Yeah, definitely. For a lot of it, you know, I think in this instance, it literally is somebody asking, like, you know, I think probably allowing people to take the piss out of them a little bit and put on them, and that's going to come from those things. Like, that's what I'd say on that. I think, and that's a big topic, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course they are. But we got some value from that. But it's another great point that I want to make as well, is that, you know, people are so obsessed with what everyone else is doing, how they're treating them, but sometimes we need to look how we're treating ourselves.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. If you...
That's where we start first, right? I was saying to someone today when we was talking about business, I said, would you employ you today on how you've conducted yourself? And he was like, no. I said, well, it starts with you then. There's no external business problem here until you start with your own stuff, right? And he was just like, man, of course it is. So, you know, in your life, would you employ yourself the way you're conducting yourself? And it really does start with ourselves. It always has been, it always will be.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people in the comments saying, yeah, people are entitled to opinions. And you bang on. I always think that I never think people are hating on our stuff. You know, it's got a different opinion. Whether I accept their opinions, a different matter. Like, I remember Andrew, you know, we worked with Andrew, and Andrew's like competed for America at the Olympics, etc., etc. You know, top left. If you're competing for America at the Olympics, you're no fucking fool. You know what I mean?
No.
Had some great businesses. And she was sort of saying, yeah, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but unfortunately, my experience beats their opinion on that. Like, and she was talking about a topic, and most people would look at that being like, oh, that sounds arrogant. But not really, because a lot of people have an opinion on things that are not actually in the arena on.
No.
So, you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah,
it's like anything we do. If you're in the arena, like getting your, you know, I'm not saying you're struggling with something, but I mean, if you're in there working on something, I think your opinion is a lot more valid than somebody who's just watching from the outside, giving all these opinions. It's like, hang on a minute, I've got some real world, I've got some experience here. You know, sometimes people ask me about coaching and how we deliver things. I'd be like, look, my 10-year experience beats your kind of opinion about where you think you should go. Like 10 years of experience of this, like that's more powerful than opinion. So sometimes I have opinions that are relevant to people because they're probably like, well, what? For example, my opinion on certain topics is irrelevant. That's why I don't give it, because I have no experience. And Jesse Alder put a post up this week, which I thought was brilliant. Does your opinion, it didn't say opinion, but it was like, does your knowledge, is it based off somebody else's knowledge and experience, or is it based off your own experience? What do you trust the most? What a question.
Yeah, and you know what? He's nailed that because he can see what's going on. There's a lot of people with a lot of surface-based information talking like experts, and it's nothing but to feed their own ego and feed their own profile. And it's a very thin line of being in existence where the words you say are meaningless. And it's such a powerful topic to understand, that being purposeful in what you do, staying in the lane, making sure that you're at a point where you can have a dialogue, you can have an opinion. And even if it's wrong or it's right, an opinion is an opinion. When you try to give advice with opinion and you're out of that experience, you're going to find yourself short. You're always going to fall short with that shit.
Yeah, definitely. The second question was a reasonable quick one. I had a few about this. Someone was saying, look, should I leave my stressful job? It's stressing me out so much. And I know that person's just signed up for our 30 days. So here's what I would say. I would say do the 30 days and see if you're still struggling. Like after you've got some training and you've learned how to reduce stress, train your energy, train your awareness, and then maybe weigh it up. But in any circumstance in life, we have the ability to, there's three options: change it, try and change it, leave it if you don't like it, if you don't want to change it, or accept it. Or the fourth one is moan and resist and etc. etc. And I think sometimes we can't change the job, for example, but we can change the way we show up to it. We can change the way we view it. We can change the way we handle it. And so I'm never going to give any advice about what people should do with lives, jobs. It's not my place to say. But what I know is very often, people go to other jobs. I remember that, it's the job. They go to another job, they're just as miserable. They go to another job, they're just, I'm not saying this person's miserable, by the way. I'm just saying, we take ourselves with us to the next job. And sometimes it is the job. It is the relationship. It is the thing.
Yeah.
So it's I would give it my best to work on me. And then if I'm working on me and I'm really handling it and it's actually, I just don't like it here, then I would move. But I'd always probably work on me first. I don't know what you think. You kind of said that with a lad today, right? Or the woman, whoever it was.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I think that's crucial. Does that make sense for anyone watching this? I think it's like the person who jumps from relationship to relationship, but takes themselves with them and has the exact same relationship 10 times over.
Yeah, great point.
Jobs, careers, whatever. The other third question, I think this is a banger.
Banger.
It's actually a banger. It's actually stemmed from a comment Ben made about when you first, you told the story of when you first worked in the gym and you went in and you were like, what the hell? Like, are these people, they're so nice. I don't trust them.
Yeah.
You didn't trust them to open up, etc. And so somebody sort of asked me, how do I work on opening up to others without feeling judged? So how do I work on being nice without listen to this very carefully. How do I work on being nice without being a target and looking weak? So that's the first point. I know this woman because I recognize the name. She's pretty cool. How do I work on being nice, being open without showing weakness and becoming a target? And how can I learn to open up and trust in new environments, so to speak? So I'm going to put that on you, Ben. I'm going to give you a little heads up that we have.
I like that. I think the first one is like being worried about looking weak is a perception. Because if you're doing the right thing, like opening up and being nice and be what you want to be there, that's courage and strength. That is no sign of weakness. That is no sign of weakness. Being purposeful, speaking your truth, speaking what you feel. Talked about this before, saying the things that you want to say. I don't mean going there being arrogant, calling everyone a dick, which I didn't. But having that awareness at first is brilliant. Understanding it, having that awareness and having that point where you're like, I want to make a step forward here. You're always going to feel some form of resistance. It's always going to be like, yeah, go forward. No, but I might look weak. So you're at a great place for me, is making some serious changes, which is out of your comfort zone, which is out of your capacity you're in now, where growth and new environment is. So first of all, if that's what you want to do, then I suggest you do that. And being in these new environments, being in these new places is the growth, and that's where you'll find the courage and the strength to this new environment that you're working for. You definitely won't see it from the sidelines and watching it and hoping it and trying to figure out the best day or the best time or the best opportunity to do it. The opportunity is now, and that's where what you're looking for, I believe, you'll receive and you'll gain and grow and expand from.
Yeah, I think, and I asked you that because you went to some pretty conflicting environments, right? So, and showing weakness, that's
the opposite. Like
you are the opposite of what I would consider. You're someone who's a strong, when you meet you, very strong personality, and I would say, hold a very authoritative, caring but very authoritative figure. Like you hold space well. I suppose maybe for you on times, dropping that sometimes did that make you feel weak? I don't know, a bit vulnerable to not looking so strong on times, or am I completely out of the? I'm asking you. No, I'm interviewing you.
I mean, there was times in my life where when I say weakness, the weakness that Simon's talking about, if I talked about my problems, or if I shown that I was worrying about something, or if I shown that I was paranoid about something, in the industries I was in at the time, we'd see it as a weakness, as someone who would be an easy target, and that ain't that ain't me showing a weakness. What I thought was weakness then, because when I actually did it was strength. Yeah. It was my perception of this, right? Because regardless what would have come my way, I would have dealt with it, and I was more worried about what they thought of me, less than. And this is now the experience what I've got now. I didn't know that then, but I stepped into that change. I stepped into that opportunity. I stepped into that place that I could be true to what I was really feeling. And I actually did at times. I actually spoke out, and the realization, the connection from other guys that were talking about at the time, I truly believe now is probably some of the strongest friendships that I've got.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is
it's not as easy as people think, right? Because I know a lot of you guys will comment like, just be yourself, or it's not that easy. I think many people have got past which they've had to wear a lot of masks or protect themselves, or they've been through trauma where they just won't open up to people, and it is hard to be yourself.
Sorry, sir.
Go on. No, you go on.
I know it's a thing with men as well, not discriminating anywhere towards women. That it's the data's out there. Like men under the age of 45, I think suicide is the biggest killer, right? And something crazy like that. And I know the perception of men is that if we speak, or if we ask for help, or we talk about our feelings, or if we talk about the situations that we're involved in, then it's a sign of weakness, and it's a perception from men, which has been conditioned for a long time, I believe, which is for another time. But I've seen I know some of the hardest men not many men can sit with, and they're not here today because they made the ultimate decision. Yeah. And you would think he was some of the, and he was tough, physically tough, mentally tough. One of the people I speak about, I'd just done a jail term of 16 years when he decided to make the ultimate decision, and that's the difference. He needed help, and his perception of what was weak and was wrong, and that's perception's a whole other thing that we could talk about another time. But that whole go on, Si. I know it's something itching.
I don't want to stop you. I think the thing for me is the weakest. We don't like to. We think showing vulnerability is weakness, right? Getting vulnerable is being weakness. Putting ourselves out there opens us up. It's a weak place to be. That is what most of us. Whether we logically think that's bullshit, we all sit here right now going, what a lot of nonsense. But emotionally at the time, it feels, which is far stronger than logic, like putting myself out there, being vulnerable. Oh my God, that is a weak place to be when I'm being vulnerable. But the reality is, we all know that the most vulnerable place to be is not there. It's actually pretending it's okay. Because when that cracks, we're always afraid that fucking mask's gonna crack. We're always afraid that the facade will drop. We live in fear of it all falling apart when we're not being ourselves. So the real reality of it is, the ironic thing, that actually getting out and being vulnerable is actually the strongest place to be, as opposed to pretending and
natural place to be.
because
Yeah,
that's like when people, you know, that's like the most vulnerable vulnerable place to be is for a lot of people is trying to control everything. People who try and control everything don't feel good because they're always afraid the control's going to slip. I need everything lined up and then I'm happy. God, what if it's not lined up? We live in fear of the control slipping. That's the thing about control. And so needing to control is a horrible place. So I suppose what I'm trying to say is what you're saying. We think that being out there and opening up is the worst place in the world. But the reality, the worst place in the world is being stuck in your own shit, like holding up the mask. That's the worst place to be when you feel like if any of this is to crack at any moment, like fuck what then? People are going to see what I'm about or how I really feel. We're like holding it together, aren't we? A lot of people are just holding this shit together. And like I said, you can't just say go be yourself because it's a bit like saying go lose some weight, go gain some weight, go cheer up, go be happy.
It's the last we're in that stage. Oh yeah, just fuck it, don't worry about it. I mean, it's such poor advice. Just to finish on that one. Have you ever seen the film 8 Mile by Eminem? He's always always frozen, worried about people going to figure out who he is. That he lives in a trailer, that he's white trash, that he's this, that, da 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 da. I suppose I lived there for a long time as well. And he actually wins the battle and becomes who he is because he says everything that he was most afraid about. He got vulnerable and he had nothing to say. Yeah, and if that's true what he did, that was a change of him. That's when he just let loose. He let loose who he was, the person who he was, the things that he wanted to say, which was against, if you like his music or not, which was against what everybody was asking. But look what it's, look what it's made him be. You can, success is one thing, being purposeful is another, but
that's message though.
Drop the mic, right? If we're living in a world that we're so worried about being perfect, we forget about progression. We live in a world right now that we're so worried about dying, we forget about living. Imagine getting on your deathbed. You think people are going to go, oh yeah, well, yeah, you're worried about a person's opinion for a long time.
Mate, I'm not laughing, but on your deathbed, you've got a microphone.
Well, I'm not the kind of situation.
You probably will have a microphone.
On life a lot. It was Lisa's sister's anniversary, and we keep it real. We go to the cemetery, we party, we let off balloons. It's always our thing, and we celebrate the life. But this is off topic. But I've been thinking about life a lot this week, and I was like, it's so precious, man. It's so fragile, life. It's so precious. It's so fragile, and we're all guilty of this. We're not treating it. Imagine you could see this on eBay and you could buy it. What life can give us, what's possible in life, what we've already achieved in life, who we've already become in life, what we've already experienced in life, how rich life has already been for all of us, and to think of wasting any of that from this day forward, from the last couple of days. I mean, it was a realization when Lisa's sister died. I was like, we just got to live. We just got to live beyond any dreams, and especially when Si said something on a break was like, you got to be what you most value in the world. These are the things that these are codes and morals that you must live by, and you know what you most value in the world, and nothing should get in the way of that. I know it's easier said than done, but if you be what you most value in the world, things start to change drastically. You don't need no training for that because we already naturally got it. It's all been conditioned out of us for whatever reasons or for however it's been done from a period of time. But right now is a more time when you're exposed to these type of understandings and truths and knowledge and wisdom, is to take some serious fucking action. Don't. Here's a question that Si says all the time: like, if you was on your deathbed and you was looking back on your life, what would you want to accomplish? What would you want to experience? Write that shit down. Write that shit down, and then go do the things that make that happen.
I like that.
Don't know where I went with that anyway, but yeah, we'll speak him on
that. I love it when you go off topic. I love it. So, going back to the woman who wants to open up and trust in environments, I think number one, Ben, you find an environment you could do it in. I think that's important. It's opening up to the right people, and that's the point I would like to make. Number one, find an environment you could do it in. but make sure that environment's not all the people like, yeah, we understand each other. I fucking hate those groups. Yeah, only we understand each other. We only, no one else gets us, and we become like our own little island of people that nobody gets. I think that's dangerous. That's one thing I love about the community in Unbreakable. Different people, different walks of life, completely different aims. Not nobody gets us. There's different people doing different shit. I think that's important. Otherwise, you become a bit like, yeah, we're all the same way, and this is the way to be. It's like, and I think that's really important when you didn't just go into an environment of opening up. It was quite an alien environment, but they were people who you kind of like, who had what you wanted, right? Or were certainly moving in a path that you wanted. And so I think that's really important about environments, because too many people surround themselves in environments where they allow themselves to get isolated with just us. And I think that's shit, to be quite scientific about it. So that's and little is best. You got to open up. Well, stop opening up. Like, I want to lean into some sort of, and open up by, start to trust people. Well, lean in little and often, as my mum would say about food. Little and often, little and often with steps. It's like, well, take little steps. You don't have to jump in. You know what I mean? Jump in and be like, I've really fucking bared my soul here. It's like, just take a little step. That's cool. Move at your own pace. Move at a comfortable pace. Be surprised where you'll get. But I think environment, little steps, etc., is the key. Ben, we've covered some shit, man. I like getting questions.
When do we know?
Number one. So we covered one thing at the start. If you missed it, go watch it. Others treating us like crap, taking advantage of us, or us allowing people to kind of treat us ways we don't want. Second thing was stress. Third thing was fucking life. The fourth thing was this whole opening up to others. And if you struggle to open up to others, then the best thing you can do is find a good environment. Make it not all the same people who are just us against the world. Hate that shit. Nobody gets me. Nobody gets me. Okay, nobody gets you. Have fun with that one. And and on the back end of it, it's little and often. You don't have to like bare your soul. Just take little baby steps.
Yeah, no doubt.
Has that been beneficial tonight? Before we get out of here, I don't think we have frozen. I've just checked. It looks all right at my end. Does that make some sense? What's been the one thing you might have taken from this? And then we're gonna get out of here. You damn right we are.
I hope someone said something about Eminem.
What's that?
So I hope someone says something about Eminem. Read Lloyd. Nice one, Jason. In the house.
Jason's he's in the mastery crew, Jason.
Sure is.
Do you know, I'm just gonna say that, right? This blows my mind. At the start of the year, I spoke to people like Jason, right? Somewhere he didn't want to be, didn't have the job he wanted, etc., etc. I don't think, Jason. And then I spoke to him. He came to an event about a month ago when we weren't locked down. Fucking moving into his own place, enjoying his job, out mountain biking all the time, from a place of, I hope you won't mind me saying, like, fucking struggling. And then, I'm not just saying this, right? We've got loads of people like this. Jason's name just popped up. But do you know Tanya?
Tanya, yeah.
Seabrook in Unbreakable, right? I met Tanya. Yeah. Tanya won't mind me saying she shared on the page, struggling, real struggling in life, like bad. And she has completely reinvented her life. I've watched her go through stage after stage over the last couple of years. And she sent me a picture this week, or last week, of her finally on this boat that she had this big dream that she'd live a more natural life and with her kids, and everyone told her not to. And she got all these hurdles. She stuck to her guns. She's grown in confidence. She sailed a boat up the Thames. She had to sell her house. She had to do all these different things. She's living the dream. And I watched that and I thought, mate, that is some fucking balls right there. And not only that, all those knockbacks along the way. It's been a hell of a journey. It made me feel emotional looking at it. You're like, mate, that is mad. Like, you have made changes there that are insane from the woman I first spoke to. And now you're like this confident woman who's like changed her whole life around. It's mad. I just keep saying it's mad, but it's just so mad.
I have absolutely nothing but love and respect for that, because I know what's required. You know what's required. You know what people go through. And when I see people like that, hear stuff like that, I'm inspired to them than any guru and anybody out there for this rag to riches bullshit story, right? I'm like, you've just done that. You know, you're looking for this inspiration. Man, look at yourself. You know, when you hear about a nurse that's got 2 kids and she's a single parent, she's working all the hours God sends, and she turns up and she's giving her cupcakes or so, and I'm like, that's the people that inspire me. That's the stuff there that I take something from. That's where I can receive and go, that's the good in the world, right? And we neglect that. Well, you know, reflection is such a powerful tool. If there's anything you do after this call tonight, just look back on the stuff that you've already accomplished in life, the things that you've done, the obstacles that you overcome. And it blows my mind that people come in here like, I don't know what to do, I'm struggling. If you can just look back on yourself, which is not the easiest thing to do, and put that in your bank account, you've got money to draw. You know, fill them bank accounts, fill that emotional account, physical account, mental account, or the spiritual account. You fill them and watch that grow. It's the only way to do it, by reflecting. And every time I hear that type of stuff, every time I hear people, this is one of the reasons why I got Unbreakable. Not was it a love sign, I've had phenomenal results from where I've been. I think really where my results capital went skyrocketed, went vertical is applying the stuff from Unbreakable. But now to be part of that, knowing that the system, the tools, the strategies, the techniques, the communities, all that stuff that comes with it, the impact that I can have a life, so I'm like, there's nowhere I need to be. There's no other place I need to be, because that is real connection. That's what humans are about. This transfer of energy, this transfer of information, this transfer of skill and encouragement and all that shit. And it's what the world really needs right now. And she wouldn't have been able to do that without what Simon had, but then all the credit's on them because she applies that stuff. And that's what Jason's got. That's what most of you guys have got from here. So just take a minute to appreciate that tonight. For any of you guys on Unbreakable, if you're not an Unbreakable, just take a minute to appreciate what you've accomplished up to date.
Yeah, brilliant. And like we said, guys, if you got something from this, hit a like button. Just hit a like button. That's all we ask. Share it up. Maybe hit a share button. If you tune into this every week and don't share it, share it. You never know. Somebody might see it and be like, hey, I've had a lot of questions when the next 7 day is. Will you do one in December? I had to think about this. We might not do a 7-day, but we'll certainly run a 30-day, because why wouldn't you run one in December? I started thinking about this. It's like, yeah, can't do it in December. Why not?
Yeah.
Well, because for a few days it's Christmas. Fuck that. I'm running one in December.
It's fucking Christmas every day here, man.
Like, oh yeah, those few days up till Christmas, I better not do anything for the rest of the month then. It's like, we're running one. I'm going to run one. We may run a 7, but we're running one. We will do it. And that's where Tanya started, 30 days. Everyone starts with us. 30 days. Mad. Anyway, we're out of here. It's been a blast. Hit the share, hit the like. We'll catch you next week. See you on the other side.